So someone messaged me on Instagram leaving an essay about a rabbit hole he went down. It's a topic that I actually only briefly spoke about in a video in the past. For the people who are new to this channel, before I deleted everything, I used to make a lot of theology videos and videos about mysticism, metaphysics, ancient theories, and ideologies. So before I get into this topic, there are several things I want to make clear since it's been a while, right? And since there are new people here who don't know me that well, and maybe some of you may need a reminder. First of all, I do not take the Bible literally. Please do not pull that on me. Okay, listen, I think it's a great allegory and something that could teach you lessons, but I don't believe most to all of the stories that happen verbatim. I use this example in this video. If you remember, I spoke about the Great Flood, for example, which we'll talk about later in this video. No, I do not believe a 600-year-old man. According to Genesis, it says Noah was 600 years old. I don't think 600-year-old man built a boat that somehow fit 2 of each animal, which completely throws away the science and the logic behind the ecosystem. If you're older than, I don't know, 9 years old and took a science class and learned about biology and even the most basic concepts about it, you would know this doesn't make any sense, okay? I don't take it to heart. However, this is what I mean about how it's a great allegory, the Great Flood, because even though I don't think this story happened literally, I think it's a great story about how it emphasized the wickedness and the price of human beings creating destruction. It said that God flooded the world in the Bible because he felt that human beings had become too corrupt and wicked and felt like renewal was needed. And this is something you can apply to many situations. If you think about it, when human beings are being wicked and corrupt, which tends to happen a lot with politics, and as you've seen throughout history where human beings haven't been the nicest people, right? There needs to be a new system implemented. There needs to be renewal. There needs to be change to get rid of evil human behavior and greed or anything that is not appropriate for us to be doing. That's how I take that story allegorically, the lesson, rather than the literal event. But there are some things I do believe may have happened, but may have been exaggerated. For example, King Solomon. This dude apparently had 700 wives. You might believe that. You might not, okay? Some of us can't even handle and deal with one woman. Bro is handling 700 women at the same time. Perhaps this is cap. However, in the Book of Kings and the Bible, God was mad about this for many reasons. One of the reasons was that apparently King Solomon married so many women because a lot of these women were from different tribes and kingdoms. So since they married Solomon, it strengthened the ties Israel had with many other nations. That's smart if you really think about it. Banging everyone's foreign wife to make your political and economic ties more stronger, building alliances. That's smart, right? Hey, it is what it is. But I think I think that really happened if you believe King Solomon exists to begin with, because some people don't. But there was probably a king doing that. But as I said, God was mad about this because some of these women who King Solomon married were from other tribes that worshiped other gods. And God said in the Bible, don't worship other idols, right? But because Solomon brought these foreign women in from different areas, he started participating or having these women perform religious practices related to other gods. One of them being Moloch. If you don't know who this god is, this is a god that people used to sacrifice children to. They believe you give your child to Moloch and you literally watch the child burn inside of the bull statue. And there are many other interpretations of that. From what I understand, you put in the hands of Moloch, the child, and it engulfs in flames or something like that, right? And the Bible strictly forbids you from worshiping Moloch. It says they point out that God specifically. They weren't liking that. They said in the book of Leviticus, don't sacrifice your babies to Moloch. You know what I'm saying? And I could get into a whole story about Solomon, right? And about Moloch and stuff like that. But I do believe there was child sacrifice going on because some king or some powerful figure wants to take everyone and bang everyone's foreign wife. God warned Solomon twice not to do this, by the way. And I take this story somewhat literal, but there's also allegory, like again, with the 700 wives. I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe he had a lot of wives, but I don't know about 700. The allegory, or one of the lessons you can take from that story, is that, Pick your partners wisely. For real. Some of y'all want some old goth girlfriend so badly. Next thing you know, she finna give you, like, hand you some crystals and talk about tarot cards and say like she did a spell on you to make you fall in love with her. Like burn some incense in her house or something. Like, bro, like, and hey, you may like that. You may even be into that. I'm not hating. I'm just saying. It just shows. Listen, some of y'all, I don't know this, but another allegory. It also shows how wealth, power, and impulse led King Solomon astray. Sometimes you get money or power and you lose yourself in it. Now you banging all these, anyway. So listen, if I bring back this series of theological videos like this and you like me yapping about stuff like this, I could get more in depth with these topics. All right. Just let me know down below. I could do that. I'm just seeing from a base point for those. I'm just saying from a base point from those who are unfamiliar with me, like this is kind of how it goes. So second thing I want to talk about before we get into the main topic of this video is that I'm not an atheist, okay? I don't know why people think this. People just assume this out of me because I may critique religion or question scriptures, okay? Just because somebody thinks a certain way about certain things or interprets it differently doesn't mean someone's atheist. Doesn't mean you're a devil worshiper either. And finally, and this relates to today's topic, I am not a flat earther, okay? But I know why people believe it. It's because they take things literal. And this is where we're going to go from here. This guy who messaged me on Instagram, he mentioned something about Antarctica and the ice wall. I found a video that perfectly explains this schizophrenic approach because I'm not about to do this. Here you go.
So you find it hard to believe that there are no photos of beyond the ice wall anywhere on the internet. Well, let me show you the one photo that people do genuinely believe shows what is beyond the ice wall, and that is this one right here. This photo shows some sort of advanced civilization that has egg-like buildings right next to a bunch of healthy green vegetation, which is very close to the ice wall. I mean, look at how close that is. How is that even possible?
Now, this video, well, specifically this image, it looks very AI to me, okay? I don't want to get into semantics about that because I've seen people go, oh, how come we're okay with NASA using CGI for pictures of the Earth, but when we use AI, it's suddenly not okay? Like, and then this ends up becoming a huge argument, which in reality doesn't really end up proving any points besides the simple fact that, yes, people do use computers to generate images. That doesn't really change scientific theory, though. It may be visually deceptive, but it doesn't change the science, which is why I think this is trivial. And in terms of Earth being flat or not, being something you can physically engage in, let's just say it like that. Listen, let's be honest here and rational, okay? I think maybe 1% or 0% of people watching or listening to this video will go to space. I'm not going to space. I'll tell you that right now, even if I was offered. But let's say you did, right? Let's say I did. Let's say I went to space. If I went to space and saw the world was flat, hypothetically, nobody is going to care. Y'all still gonna clock into work the next day, go back to school, and most people won't even believe me unless they saw it for themselves. Plus, even if I return back to Earth, right, and I was like, oh my God, the Earth is flat, guys, I saw it. Yo, keep it a bean. This is not gonna change my life, nor will it change yours. You may be like, oh wow, the Earth is flat, the world is flat. Okay, anyway, time to open up League of Legends and Marvel Rivals. I'm bored. Oh, world's flat. That's interesting. Anyway, I'm going to listen to some new Playboy Cardi. Like, nobody cares like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all going to move on with your lives. If you're broke, you're still going to be broke after. If you're single and lonely, you're still going to be that way after. When you find out, allegedly, the world is flat, okay? The world being flat or not is completely trivial to all of y'all lives. Just a simple fact about that. But this may prove a point to the Bible literalists, though, where this idea of this ice wall, where does it really come from? So on the screen right now is a map that some flat earthers had predicted to be the actual foundation of this planet. I think someone just ripped this out of some Dungeons and Dragons subreddit, but this is allegedly what's going on. So apparently you can see, maybe zoom into the picture. If you know how to zoom into YouTube videos here, just zoom in so you see what's going on here. Okay, if it's too far. Apparently, as you can see, the Earth appears flat here. There is an ice wall which surrounds, our continents. When past, though, there are other lands with civilizations and other things going on. Apparently, the reptilians live on one of those islands. The shapeshifters, werewolves, the Nephilim, giants, the Anunnaki. What else we got? Fairies and angels and, I don't know, wizards. I'm making up stuff. A land full of angels or demons. I don't know, okay? I swear to God, people are saying that. So that clip where he's like, look at these buildings past this ice wall. You see vegetation and all this stuff. Like, bro, like, he's pointing out the islands and stuff like that. Now, Aku, why are you trolling, bro? You may think I'm trolling right now. I'm not. I didn't even make the image. But you know what's really funny about this picture here? This is in the Bible, but it's more condensed. So in Genesis chapter 1, verse 6 through 8, God said basically, let there be a firmament where there is water above and below, and we'll call the firmament heaven. This image right here, this is what the firmament looks like. This is allegedly, according to the Bible, which a lot of people live by, this is where we live right now. Okay, it's basically saying, as you can see, it clearly emphasizes the earth is flat and we are in a dome. All the stars, the moon, the sun, it's all within the bubble that we live in. This also emphasizes that apparently we never truly left the firmament. You know what I'm saying? Even when you say we went to space, because, listen, you see some stuff in this image like Sheol. I believe the book of Isaiah explains this. It's described as the realm of the dead. In Judaism, there isn't really a hell. Like good and bad people go to Sheol. It's like a world of darkness. Once you die in Judaism, it's just darkness, And you know how in Christianity they fearmonger you by like going like, if you do bad things, you're going to hell. You were influenced by the devil, demons. Well, in Judaism, doing righteous behavior is not motivated by avoiding going to hell. You know what I'm saying? Just do righteous things because let me just teach you how to do righteous things rather than fearmonger you about going to a place in the afterlife. Okay. I don't want to get down that rabbit hole too, but listen, where you die in Judaism, that depends on who's teaching Judaism to you, because the afterlife in Judaism is always debated. All right. Another thing about this image that you see is something called the Great Deep. I read somewhere, it might be in the book of Revelation. Apparently there's a giant red dragon in there in the Great Deep. It has like 7 heads, 10 horns, and it's supposed to be identified as the devil. But that's Christianity lore. Okay. Once the apocalypse or judgment day happens, according to Christianity, apparently we are about to fight a dragon, or at least the angels are supposed to fight it for us. All right. I'm not fighting no dragon. Okay. There might be a dragonborn. I really doubt it. But hey, at this point, you never know, because apparently we got reptilians beyond the ice wall in Antarctica. All right. So the dragonborn might be outside of this region. There might be dragons outside past that Antarctic ice wall. Quick edit, I made a mistake. I was looking up pictures of this dragon because apparently it's supposed to be below Sheol, right, in the firmament. I'm like, let's see a picture here. Why is this dragon black? Like, it's supposed to be red. And it turns out this ain't even the same dragon. There's another dragon, the Chaos Dragon. Well, it's a Leviathan. All right, there's a sea serpent going on. All right, so hey, Dragonborns need to help us anyway. We're gonna need Mermaid Man, bro. I don't know. It's not really shown in this picture, by the way. But the celestial bodies, such as Saturn, Jupiter, it's supposed to be in the firmament as well. You know what it is? It's like, if you believe we're in a firmament because you take what the Bible says literally, technically, you can make the argument that there's nothing beyond the Milky Way if you believe in the firmament, right? Rather, you can even make the argument, and this is a rough one, if you believe in the firmament, you may say that space is fake. Technically, you can say that. But you can see there's a lot of questionable logic going on here. But see, this is what I meant. This is what it says in the Bible. Now, I can guilt trip some of y'all because some people do this, and I've seen people do this to other people. But people be like, so you think the firmament and the flat earth is fake? It says in the Bible, this is how the world was created. So who are you going to trust more about what's going to tell you what's right? God or man? And people who think that the Bible wasn't written by a man, even though it was, Rather, you may say it was inspired by God. You might feel insecure about that question. Do you take the science or do you take your faith? And now what? You know what I'm saying? I've also seen people use the Operation Fishbowl argument rather, where they say the government was shooting rockets into space, trying to break the barrier of the firmament. And they show clips of like rockets exploding in the air. And honestly, that happens all the time. But the thing about the Operation Fishbowl thing is that apparently they exploded nuclear devices or whatever in high altitudes. And when they did so, it literally looked like a fishbowl, like this image I'm showing right here. Some people use the argument and, think about it like this. I've seen people say it like this too. People like, in terms of Operation Fishbowl, what happens when you flip a fishbowl upside down? It looks like a firmament. So apparently the government is trying to break the firmament because allegedly they struggle to get into space, and the elites of this world who run this planet are so evil. They're trying to break God's creation because they know God is real and they're scared about people knowing about that. And this goes down another rabbit hole. Do I believe that's what Operation Fishbowl was for? I get the argument and the point being made, but to believe that was the point, that was the purpose of Operation Fishbowl, you have to believe in the firmament. That's step one. Step two, you got to believe in flat earth. Then you got to toy around with the Operation Fishbowl thing, because then the idea and the conspiracy would be very convenient for you. Now, here's my take on this though, okay? In regards to that, in general to this, do I believe we're in a firmament? Sounds cool, but no, I do not believe we're in a firmament. That's why I said the things I said earlier in this video, in the beginning of it, right? To me, hearing the book of Genesis, how God created the firmament, which apparently we live in, it seems more metaphysical to me. When I think waters above and waters below, like it says in the Bible, I think of the concept of, some of you may have heard this before, as above, so below, which means from a hermetic sense and mysticism, what happens in the higher realms of consciousness is mimicked in the physical world. What you think can manifest in the physical world. It's not about where you're at in life, it's about where your mind is at, right? The macrocosm of this existence copies the microcosm of this existence. Even when the Bible and God mentions how the heavens are in the sky, the heavens, again, are above. So as above, so below. The firmament idea also makes me think about how everything that is created in our existence, there are different boundaries and levels to it, but it's held together as one, where you can recognize that even from a scientific level, right? Everything in this cosmic, which we live in, everything is naturally, at least naturally, synchronized. I know as human beings, we disrupt this, but if we naturally, things just know how to work for the most part. We're all interconnected with one bubble per se, within one space. There's even a part in Genesis 7, chapter 7, where going back to Noah and the flood, it mentions how the flood happened. Apparently, in the firmament, the floodgates from the heavens were opened. Think about that. The heavens are above, and that's how God flooded the earth. He opened up like a window or something, and then started to flood. Because remember, there's water above and water below, and the heavens are above. The fact, though, that there is apparently like a passage or a window to get from our physical plane or the below state to the heavens and the higher state, that can mean something else spiritually or metaphysically. If there's a passage or a window to enter the divine consciousness or enter heaven, what does that personally mean to you? So I look at it from an allegorical sense. I don't really think we're in an actual firmament or fishbowl, nor do I think we're dealing with flat earth or anything of the sort. But it's such an interesting concept that you can honestly analyze from an esoteric interpretation instead of fighting and arguing with each other all the time about scientific credibility with this. Because listen, you know what it is, dude? People are going to believe what they want to believe. If you truly take the scriptures to heart and literal, I can't do anything for that. But I'll tell you this, I'm my own person. And how I look at these scriptures, I take it to heart, but I interpret it way differently, way beyond, oh, it's just religion. Oh, it's just a guide to how to control us. Like, I get that, you know, I get that. But to me, religious scripture is not just the Bible, any religious scripture. It's mystical allegory to me. Who cares if it's fake to you? People get inspired by anime characters all the time, bro, or movies or other works of fiction, bro. Like, some of y'all be learning principles from anime, but you learn a lesson from it depending on your approach rather than making it seem like something you should be bitter about. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, what do y'all think? Y'all want more theology videos? This episode is found on Spotify and YouTube. Times Square.
Nightmare 7 a.m. in the morning though. No surprise. Times Square's you and I under those lights. No disguise. Don't tell me everything you wanted was a lie. All those city lights, it's an endless night. Never expected you to bring me so much life. Close my eyes too long, then it's time to say goodbye. Let's dance all night until the stars don't show glow. Till the sunrise, then we go solo. Making up for all the times that we were low. Let's make some memories before we do go. Let's dance all night until the stars don't show glow. Till the sunrise, then we go solo. Making up for all the times that we were low. Let's make some memories before we do go. Caution, wait a moment, keep my heart locked away, it's filled with emotion.